It is March, it is mayhem, it is majestic here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Colorado State has won 5 in a row and 9 of 11 to get into the Mountain West Championship picture, while 24-win Utah State has been there much of the season. And not only are we sitting atop the Rockies today, we have 2 of the top 3 teams in the Mountain West Conference getting together. New Mexico at the moment up a half game on Utah State. Colorado State just a game out of first now. New Mexico is up right now, and they are likely to take an extra step ahead in the standings. But it is exactly what you want when it comes to March college basketball with Nick Paul. My name is Trent Rush. Glad to be with you. And Nick, looking at this matchup, we're talking about a couple of programs, very different starts to the season, but now as we settle in the final month of the year, all things are a possibility for these 2 programs.
Yeah, for these 2 programs, the standard is to play meaningful games in March, and both these teams have played their way into that becoming a reality. Both have their sights set potentially on a Mountain West regular season championship, and both have postseason aspirations. I think Colorado State has really played well over the course of the last 4 or 5 games. They're at home, little revenge on their minds because the Aggies absolutely blitzed the Rams in the first matchup. I'm expecting a heck of a game. It's March. It's March.
What more could you want? And what an amazing performance that was for Utah State. Made their first 7 threes. They were up by 20 early on, and they have a couple of real outstanding players. Mason Falseth and Ian Martinez really make up a stellar backcourt for them. And the best NBA prospect in this game, but someone that, quite frankly, could be in the mix for Mountain West Player of the Year, Nick Clifford for Colorado State.
Nick Clifford does just about everything. It was interesting. Nico Medved said his superpower is his rebounding. He averages 10 rebounds a game, almost 9 a game on the defensive glass. Just a well-rounded player that guy is. What a stud here at Fort Collins.
Could be a late first, early second round draft pick. Some of the very best in this conference on display here to begin March. Opening tip 1 by Colorado State.
Utah State will play about 40 minutes of what I call a zone casserole. It's a little bit of 2-3, a little bit of 1-3-1, a little bit of matchup. It is a tough code to crack.
That's Jalen Lake with the take. Goes back out to Evans. Deep in the shot clock, 6 to shoot. Kyan Evans way deep to get the party started.
His confidence is just rising and rising and rising. He is kind of the X factor for this Rams group. He's really played well over the second half of this season.
Coming off a 20-point performance, a career high 18 of those in the second half. So not only is he performing well in second half of games, but you're right, second half of the season as well, 14 a night over the last 7. Here comes one of the best shooting teams in America, top 5 in field goal percentage. Martinez runs into a trio of Rams in the paint and turns it over. Well, they're going to give him a jump ball, and the arrow will stay with Utah State. Head coach at Utah State, Jared Calhoun, year number 1 of the program, came over from a heck of a run at Youngstown State, back-to-back 20-win seasons for the first time in that program's history. And then Nico Medved at Colorado State is taking this Ram program to new heights. And they're going to take a look at the last play at the shot clock, which is showing 1 second at the moment.
We'll see if the shot clock violation happened before the jump ball, but a nice tone-setting opening possession defensively for Colorado State. Good communication, trying to fight the dribble, and look at all those white jerseys collapsing on Martinez. Take a look at the bottom right part of your screen. I think there's probably
second on the shot clock.
On the clock.
Utah State ball.
So not a lot of time for Utah State. As Nico Medved looks on at his team, and you know, this matchup has been going back since pre-World War II. They've been playing since 1938, but you got to go back to 1998, the last time Colorado State won back-to-back home games against the Aggies. Rams beat them last year. They're trying to get it done in this one, and that one's deflected by big man Clifford guarding the ball on the baseline. Still a second on the clock.
When the player touches it, the clock should start. I'm not sure if the shot clock operator touched it or not, but now there's maybe like 0.2.
Yeah, not a lot of time to get a shot off. Martinez just with a touch, draws iron, and then a rebound comes off to Abendado Renzi.
Little extracurriculars here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Fort Collins.
No love lost here in this matchup this afternoon. And Martinez, not a whole lot of options there.
No, I had to just get it up off on the rim. And this is where I thought Utah State really sunk their teeth into the Rams early in the first matchup. The full court pressure bothered Colorado State, turned the ball over, and that was something Nico Medved said he was really putting an extra emphasis on, taking care of the ball against the zone and the full court press.
Ball underneath. Crocker Johnson gets fouled.
Foul number 21.
You might notice in this game this afternoon, Colorado State is, the names on the back of the jerseys are not what you're used to seeing. For example, Guy and Evans, it's not Evans on the back. Neat Clifford, it's not Clifford on the back. And you can see Crocker Johnson has Benzel's name on the back. Well, that's because this is the Fight Like a Ram game. They do it once a season where they partner with UC Health, and they represent those who are going through cancer battles and here to support. And it's a great relationship that Colorado State has with UC Health. And today, honoring them in the Fight Like a Ram game.
Nothing quite like putting the names on the back of the jersey to add a little fighting spirit for the Rams on the floor to honor those names. We'll get more into it as the broadcast progresses, but what a cool event.
Colorado State coming out in a full court press, and that's going to end up, let's see what they call it. They're going to call a foul on the play.
And Colorado State doesn't press as much as Utah State, but they'll slap on a full court press every once in a while.
They called that against Crocker Johnson. We're seeing an intensity from Colorado State in this game that's almost reminiscent of the intensity that Utah State had for their first matchup in Logan. Layup missed underneath, second chance coming. Templin runs into all kinds of trouble. Another jump ball, and the arrow is going to stick. Utah State.
3 jump balls in the first not even 2 minutes of action here. The possession arrow is getting a workout. As you see Carson Templin, he's all energy off the bench. He almost was able to pull down a rebound putback, but Utah State regains possession.
Martinez lost a handle on it, runs into the trees, ball is still loose. Good job by Lake to prevent what would have been another jump ball, and now here comes Clifford.
I like how hard Colorado State's playing early.
Clifford on the shot fake, gets a good look in the corner and drills it.
Almost a complete role reversal from the first matchup. It was the Aggies that blitzed the Rams in Logan, and right now it's the Rams blitzing the Aggies here in Fort Collins.
Tian Martinez, fifth leading scorer in the Mountain West, who turns it over. Up ahead to Clifford. Back, Evans to the bucket, gets his shot blocked. Martinez closing in. In transition on the other side, a missed layup. Utah State now 0 for their first 4.
What a recovery from Martinez, though, to erase the transition layup.
In the corner, rattles it home. Jalen Crocker Johnson.
Jared Calhoun trusting his group to play through it. Gonna try and get Albury downhill, or Martinez freed up for a jumper.
Utah State's best start to a game this season was against Colorado State. Now it seems like it's the reverse of that. The inverse is Falslev gets it, and the fans finally sitting down after over 3 minutes. The fans can't sit until the opponent finally puts the ball in the hoop, and Colorado State starting the game on a 10-0 run.
And I like that. I see some home courts where it's the opposite, where the fans don't sit until the offense scores.
Right.
So the crowd is defensive minded.
I like that. On the other side, Crocker Johnson just continues to go to work 5 straight points.
Colorado State likes to post up Crocker Johnson and Clifford at times, and it can be hard to find those post-ups against this zone, but I think it's important that Colorado State still try to throw the ball into the paint when they can.
Foul off ball on Tucker Anderson as Nico Medved has his team going to start this ball game. Colorado State scoring on 5 of their first 6 possessions to get this one started.
Been locked in on this end of the floor, though. It's amazing how much your defense really can pump in energy into your offense. I thought as much of an issue in the first matchup. I thought it was the defensive end that really plagued Colorado State.
Anderson sees his 3 rattle out, and the rebound's going to stick with Utah State, and then a foul at the end of the play goes against Evans, trying to take it away from Carson Templin.
Templin, he brings so much energy off the bench and emotion, and he's come in, got 2 offensive rebounds. The first one was tied up, and jump ball went the other way, but you feel his presence on the floor.
And that's a big foul because that's the second on Evans, and this is their second leading scorer. 14 a game over the last 7, now headed to the bench.
The really big foul.
And we'll see if Nico leaves him there for the rest of the half. What Medved decides to do is it's a turnover on the other side. So here comes Colorado State. Boy, turnover's been a real issue. Why not? Jalen Crocker Johnson, have yourself an afternoon. He came to play.
What a start for the Rams. Lighten it up for beyond the arc. A little shot fake, reload for Mr. Clifford. And how about Jalen Crocker Johnson, trailer 3. It's all Rams early.
Well, maybe this will explain why the Rams are off to a hot start. They called it a Bronco. 2-time Super Bowl champ Terrell Davis in the house. 97 Super Bowl MVP, the Hall of Famer. The MVP the next year, led the league in rushing. All-time leading rusher in Denver Broncos history, saying, I'm not going to run anymore, but I'll throw a pass.
Yeah.
Time to time.
I think he maybe give a mile-high salute after that, but pretty cool to have Terrell Davis in the house.
He's a Rambassador. I almost said ambassador. A Rambassador with Colorado State, a part of the athletic department here, and came to the game today, and well, his Rams off to a 15-2 start.
An amazing start. A couple of 3 turnovers already for Utah State, and just shooting the lights out are the Rams.
That one, friendly bounce, uses the home rim.
5 for 5 from 3 is Colorado State.
Jalen Lake, second leading scorer on the season, just under 12 a game. It was Utah State that started 7 for 7, and now here comes Colorado State 5 for 5 in the rematch.
It's a complete role reversal of the first matchup in Logan.
Allen getting downhill, gets the teardrop to go, stops the 8-0 run.
What I love about Utah State is their bench production, and they bring in guys that produce and can change the complexion of the game. And right now, starters a little flat, so you need Drake Allen and Carson Templin and company to come in and make an impact.
That's the one thing about Utah State. Their depth is really an advantage for them. Tough catch for Lake, but an ankle-breaking move, and the floater goes.
Poor closeout for Mason Falslev. He just lost his footing. Colorado State just getting anything they want right now offensively.
Jalen Lake heating up a little bit. He had a span of about 4 games, only averaging 6 a night, but double figures 2 of the last 3. Back-to-back buckets. As Falslev gets hit.
Well, Jalen Lake is an excellent shooter. You see the ball fake, get that zone rotated on that wing, and then he's got an easy one. If he'd have caught this one clean, he'd have teed up another 3, but instead, a little floater in the middle of that zone. Jalen Lake knocking down shots is always important for Colorado State.
Templin, quick inbound, missed everything. And the Aggies appear out of sorts this afternoon in Fort Collins. Clifford, dribble drive, dish. Bourne just came into the game, and he gets fouled on the pass.
Well, I think a great place for Utah State to settle in is to settle in on the defensive end of the floor right now. Allow their defense to create some offense, get some deflections, get some steals, get some stops, and get out and run. Because clearly right now, when Colorado State's able to set their half-court defense, Utah State is having a hard time.
It's Bourne up top. Joppa thought about it. 10 to shoot. Bourne down to the paint, goes back out. Clifford, 5 seconds. Clifford puts up a really tough 3. I was going to say, if that goes, ends up being a miss.
It almost did.
Clifford making something out of nothing. Now that's the first possession Colorado State has had. You could probably call an empty possession.
Agree.
Back the trailing Johnson.
And he can pick and pop and shoot threes.
Student section getting behind the Rams here. 8 seconds. Johnson settles for a mid-range as an air ball picked up underneath, and Martinez puts it up and in.
Well, you talk about 28 seconds of a possession going nowhere, but oftentimes I've found that air balls are the toughest ones to rebound defensively, and it just lands right in Martinez's lap, and he lays it in. I thought Bourne's energy defensively was really good that whole possession.
Clifford gets it over to Bourne, who hits the three. The energy on defense on one end, capitalizing with a tray on the other.
Totally agree, Trent. I think those two things are tied together. I think he felt pretty good about himself with that possession. And you just stack positive things in your head, and when that open shot comes, he's locked and loaded.
And this is an unreal start to this game for Colorado State. 23-6. Not yet 8 minutes in. I mean, Utah State, one of the best teams in this Mountain West Conference, goes out of bounds, will stay with the Aggies.
The energy defensively is off the charts for Colorado State right now. Everybody's locked in, everybody's communicating, everybody's physical into the basketball.
And so much gets made in this Mountain West Conference about really good home courts. Viejas Arena, San Diego State, the Pit for New Mexico, and Logan at the Spectrum for Utah State. Colorado State, no joke here at Moby Arena, forcing a miss. And they've won 29 of the last 33, but they turn it over here. Transition, Trey Martinez will shoot 3 free throws when we come back, but this has been all Rams out of the gate. 23-6 start for Colorado State at home. No team in the Mountain West takes more threes than Colorado State. Well, the way they're shooting right now, I don't think anyone's going to make more threes than Colorado State.
It's hard to envision a better shooting start for beyond the arc than what we've seen. 6 of 7 from the three-point line. 5 different Colorado State players have knocked down a 3, and a lot of these shots, other than the first one from Lake, have been off of an assist. 7 assists on 8 made baskets, which isn't a surprise. Colorado State, a very high assist rate team, but what a three-point shooting display from Colorado State early. 3
free throws coming for Utah State's Ian Martinez. How about this? Colorado State has made 6 threes. Utah State has 7 total points.
Yeah, that's not good. And 0 assists. Certainly got to make some shots to get some assists, but 0 assists for Utah State. I mean, both these teams are 2 of the higher assist teams in the country. Utah State 6th nationally in assists per game. So Colorado State doing a good job just getting into the ball and forcing Utah State just being a little sped up.
Finally, Utah State able to get some kind of relief by making 3 free throws to break up what has been a dominant start for Colorado State to this ball game.
Man-to-man now for Utah State. They'll switch things a little bit, but clearly wanting to get out of that zone for the time being are the Aggies.
8 seconds, pass cross court. Morton, tough look, no. Tipped alive. That one missed as well by Joppa. Utah State trying to build on some momentum. It's Dayton Albury. Akano, 15 to shoot. Hard to get anything inside right now. Trying to get the alley-oop, but a foul. So Ganarenzi will go to the stripe for 2 on the alley-oop try.
Well, that empty side pick and roll, meaning there's only 2 players on one side of the floor. So when the roller is coming down the right side, there's no help in there. You can just throw it up, and Ganarenzi with that great size, able to get a paw on it and draw a foul. Yeah, all things considered, Utah State, they just got to collect themselves a little bit. Just got absolutely blitzed to start here.
Ganarenzi was big in the first matchup against the Rams at 16 in that game. Misses the first free throw.
Well, Jared Calhoun said when they went in the portal looking for a big guy, they wanted to find a big guy that had a winning pedigree, and that's what Ganarenzi provides. Stetson transfer. He helped lead Stetson to their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. They lost to UConn, obviously the eventual national champs, but this guy right here is about all the right things, and he's transferred that to Utah State.
Able to get one of two. I mean, pretty much looks now Utah State's in real good shape to be an automatic qualifier for the NCAA tournament, almost regardless of what happens down the stretch. It's a much tougher situation for Colorado State, but if they were able to win this game at home, and right now up 14, they're going to have to continue to not just win, but maybe even win convincingly, then go on the road to Boise State. Could be a quad one game at the end of the year. They are a long shot, certainly, but could at least play themselves into the bubble conversation.
I think so.
Inside, Clifford converts.
I love that action from Colorado State, where they'll put Clifford in screening action, then he'll just turn and post up his man. Him and Crocker Johnson are pretty good with their back to the basket.
Martinez underneath the hoop, gets rid of it. Tucker Anderson's three is a miss. And that's going to be Colorado State basketball. And on top of the high-level shooting for the Rams, feels like they're winning all the 50-50 battles too.
Totally agree. Colorado State came out and they delivered the first punch and set the tone for the energy and the effort. And we wondered, would Nico Medved trust Jalen Lake with those two personal fouls? He's back out there. Or excuse me, Kyan Evans has two personal fouls. We'll see if he trusts him to throw Kyan Evans back out there. With 15-point lead, you're probably okay.
And one try incoming for Keyshawn Williams.
You know, it's funny, we talk about the bench for Utah State, but I think Bowen Bourne's come in and provided a good punch, and now Keyshawn Williams getting in the action. Keep in mind, Williams, 2 years ago, he averaged 17 points per game in Northern Illinois, but a knee injury has kind of derailed him a little bit over the last season. But clearly, you average 17 points per game, you know how to put the ball in the basket.
And that's the second on Dexter Akano, the Oregon State transfer, so he heads the bench. Keyshawn Williams didn't score at UNLV 2 games ago, came back 5 points. So, he's trying to raise his level here, but on his third school, you talk about this scoring pedigree he has. Trying to continue that here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think Colorado State needs Bourne and Williams to, you don't need to go score 20 at night, but if they could come in and change the complexion of the game scoring the ball, because that's kind of how both guys are built, that would really elevate this Colorado State team.
Utah State's got more than 3 minutes without a bucket, and here they are, still at the logo with 8 to shoot.
Barnes not a shooter with the ball. He's going to be a passer.
3 seconds. Drake Allen gets rid of it. I don't know if Barnes got it off in time, and they're going to review this one. Jordy Barnes, the freshman, made the jumper on the baseline, but I don't know if he got this one off in time. It's real close. Really
close. Again, you're talking about a guy that averages 1 point per game. Let's take a look.
Maybe he did. Boy, that is close.
It is really close. Did they count it on the floor?
Counted it on the floor.
Yeah, so that's important to know what the call was in real time.
It's so 0 on the clock, and it's coming out of that right hand.
It is really close. It looks like there might be in his hand there.
Yeah. As we're seeing, there's a 0 on we saw a 0 on the shot clock. This one looks like it's razor thin margin, but it looks like it could be a shot clock violation.
I agree.
But on top of that, though, I mean, the decision, deep in that situation, Allen passing with 1 second really didn't set up for a good opportunity for Barnes there.
No, Allen tried to get a step back 3, but the defense was so good he couldn't even get it off. And that's just, it's amazing how we talk about different schemes defensively. A lot of things come down to 2 things: guarding the basketball and talking. And I think Colorado State's been off the charts in those 2 areas to get things started.
All right, so while Nick gets an update from the officials, 28-10 our score right now, and what has been just an absolute domination in this first 10.5 minutes for Colorado State at home. Again, they've won 5 in a row, 9 of 11, trying to get back into the conference title picture. They're on the outside looking in. New Mexico's in the driver's seat, but in this conference, if you can get within a game, anything can happen. What'd you learn?
Just trying to see if there was another angle they could look at.
Okay.
So they're still looking at. It's really close. It is about as close as it gets. This is what this makes me think, if they're this torn on it, that it might stand. Because again, you have to have indisputable video evidence on it.
Looks like they're going to end up calling this no basket.
No basket.
Shot clock violation. As you can see, where these teams are, like 34 in the net. Utah State, real good shape at 24 wins right now. Mike DeCourcy has them as a 9 seed, but Colorado State, a lot of work to do. In all likelihood, they'll have to win the Mountain West tournament, but if the stars align, there is a glimmer of hope for the Rams.
Rams ball.
Pretty much no room for error, but boy, we talked about the 50-50 plays not going Utah State's way. Even on that one, a true 50-50 ends up going for the Rams.
Colorado State been so good offensively, gotten Utah State out of this zone.
Clifford earns a second chance. Quick ball movement. Good look there for Williams that didn't drop.
You got to try to push it early and attack for that help can load up. Albury, a right-hand driver. He really is elite getting downhill with that right hand.
The lid has been on the bucket for over 4 minutes for Utah State. They made free throws, that's it. Just 3 for 13 from the floor to start this game. Ian Martinez, their leading scorer, couldn't get that, and now a loose ball foul on the rebound. That's going to go against the Aggies. They'll call this one on Gataretsi.
Second person, 14.
So that's now 2 on Gataretsi, and the foul trouble starting to stack up for Utah State with 2 starters with 2 fouls.
Rams ball.
Handled this full court pressure well. They've gotten the ball in. They've taken care of the basketball, which was a big concern of Nico Medved's because it loomed large in the loss at Utah State. Colorado State was just sloppy early with the ball.
Foul on the floor.
There it is again, that when Clifford or Crocker Johnson either receive a screen or down screen, that they can turn and post and flash to the ball at any moment. And both those guys got big bodies. They're a big target.
So that's a foul on Martinez, his first, as Nick Clifford gets an ovation going back to the Colorado State bench. These fans here at Mobile Arena pretty excited about what they've seen from their team so far. Why not piling on Jalen Lake, now at 7.
Couple of mid-range floaters for Lake, but Bimbo with a nice screen to free him up on the ball.
Allen gets caught in traffic underneath. 15 to shoot. Nowhere to go. Allen from way deep. That's a miss. 3rd missed 3 for Utah State, who leads the Mountain West in 3-pointers made per night. Down low, it's Carson Templin. 11 seconds. A lot of traffic, no whistle.
Another excellent defensive possession.
On the reverse spin, they're going to call a foul on the ground. And it'll be Colorado State ball when we come back. Utah State in a lot of trouble, down 20 on the road here in Fort Collins.
Rams ball.
Tremendous start for Colorado State to this game.
6 of 7 from 3, but the defensive effort has just been off the charts.
30-10 the score right now, with Colorado State leading Utah State up by 20. And you think about this too, Utah State, they've turned it over 4 times. Compare that to 3 made shots.
This is one of the best offenses in the country with Utah State. They're 15th nationally in KenPom offense.
Another 3. Biggest lead of the season, or biggest deficit of the season rather, for Utah State is right now down by 23 points after that 3 by Bourne. Volslev on the other side misses. Connor tracking it down.
Just love how Bowen Bourne is playing here this afternoon. He's playing hard on this end, and I think it's just settled him in on offense.
Back out, Falslip. Quiet so far, gets that roll. Second bucket.
Whole thought for Utah State's got to be to try to get this thing to 10 by halftime. You got plenty of time to do it, but you got to start getting some stops.
Way too much space underneath, and Jalen Crocker-Johnson now in double figures with 11 thanks to that slam.
His versatility's been on display. He's posted up, he's knocked down some threes. That's the kind of player he is. The Arkansas Little Rock transfer.
Barnes gonna launch.
Wow.
Freshman, former walk-on, stroking it.
Just his 5th made 3 of the season. Again, he's a guy that's coming in looking to pass. His team needs a spark, and he drills it.
Still a 20-point game. That's going to end up being a walk.
Yeah.
So Morton shuffled his feet, and that's going to get the ball back to Utah State. I want to get back to something you were talking about a moment ago, Nick, about how good this Utah State offense has been on the season and the way Colorado State has defended. It's not that the Aggies are missing shots.
No.
This is an intense defense that we're seeing from the Rams.
Utah State's having a hard time just getting a good, clean shot off right now. And that's not been the case throughout the season. Utah State has been just incredible offensively.
And then on the push-off, a turnover on the foul by Tucker Anderson, trying to create a little bit of space. Gives the ball right back to Colorado State.
It's a revolving door over there on the substitutions for Utah State. Anybody making a mistake, they're coming out. And Jared Calhoun's trying to find the right mix of guys. Back to the zone now.
We just saw the 10 assists on the 13 made shots for Colorado State. And Utah State, one of the national leaders in assists, doesn't have one yet. Falsev going to be called for the foul on the bump before the shot. That'll be his first.
Bowen Bourne doing a nice job. He's already knocked down a couple of threes, but here he's left-handed, just driving hard, not going to be denied. But you're talking about a guy that he was a Missouri Valley Conference Rookie of the Year at Northern Iowa. He was the 6th man of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, and now making his way to Colorado State. So he's been in a lot of different roles, and he knows how to score the ball. He's got over 1,400 points in his career at Northern Iowa.
Bourne listed at 5'11" from Norwalk, Iowa. Was the Mr. Basketball in the state of Iowa. 5'11" might be generous, but he makes the absolute most of it and gets both free throws.
I was going to let you say it. I was going to let you say it. He's playing big right now. That's all that matters. Look at him clapping. He is locked in.
Working the defense right there. No room for Barnes. 9 seconds. Pass in the corner. Blocked by Clifford.
Wow.
A defensive clinic being put on by Colorado State this afternoon. There's the double. Pass out of it to Clifford. Trying to get it through. Does. Crocker-Johnson. No. Put back. Yes. Timeout on the floor. Will keep it here. Starts with the defense of Colorado State. I mean, this is unreal.
Unbelievable. Bowen Bourne on the ball, heating him up. Nick Clifford blocking the shot. And you get a double team. And you're able to even just throw a little bit of a ground ball out of it. And Crocker-Johnson's able to collect it and get the putback off his own miss, but that's just been Colorado State quicker to the ball, playing harder, more locked in. This has been a defensive clinic from Colorado State.
Jalen Crocker-Johnson, OVC Freshman of the Year last year at Arkansas Little Rock, comes to Colorado State, and he's put up pretty good numbers, averaging 9 points a game, but you look at his last 5, close to 12 points a game in that span, and he's already got 13 on 5 of 6 shooting today.
He's versatile. He can post. He can shoot. He's got a big body. He's efficient. Well, we talked about, oh boy, Kine Evans in foul trouble. Bowen Bourne has filled in for Evans and played really, really good.
They're probably not worried about it. Evans is a second-half player anyway.
That's right.
That's what he does every night. Crocker-Johnson he's made 5 shots. You're just talking about that. Utah State as a team has made 5 shots deep in the first half. Here comes Utah State on the other side. If this is the fight like a Ram game, this is a statement certainly from this Colorado State program. Maybe a message to the committee as Martinez gets hit. They're going to call a foul on the take, and they'll have 2 free throws when we come back. But Colorado State rolling at home up 39-15. Statement game.
Coming up at the half, number 1 Auburn makes another big statement at number 17 Kentucky. Top 6 battle elsewhere in the SEC between Alabama and Tennessee. And 7th-ranked St. John's looks to wrap up its first outright Big East title in 40 years. That's a long time, Trenton, Nick. See you guys shortly.
All right, looking forward to that coming up at halftime. Trent Rush, Nick Ball with you. And my goodness, you think about this time of year. Here we are in March. So much gets talked about first impressions. How about final impressions? And if this is here in the final week of the season, if this is the impression Colorado State is going to make, if they can get to the bubble, there's got to be some of the committee saying, wait a minute, they're doing this to that Utah State team?
Again, this is one of the best offenses in the country in Utah State, and what Colorado State has done to them has been incredible. 5 of 21 from the floor, 0 assists, 5 turnovers. This has just been a clinic defensively from Colorado State.
Free throw is made, and now Utah State 6 of 7 from the stripe. If not for those free throws, I mean, just think about the situation Utah State would be in then. I mean, they're in a world of hurt as it is anyway. Utah State had not had a game this season where they trailed by 20 points until this week when they were down by 21 at Boise State. Came back to make that game competitive in the second half, but Broncos ended up pulling away. And now in this game, the Rams have come out swinging.
And you can tell Jared Calhoun is just trying to find 5 guys that want to fight. Right now, freshman Isaac Davis on the floor for Utah State. Jordy Barnes has gotten extended minutes in this first half. He's just trying to find guys they're going to fight and do what they need to do from an execution standpoint.
The last foul was on Falsa, and that's his second. So he's going to stay in the game here. I don't know what choice Calhoun has. He's got to leave somebody that can score in. With Martinez and Falsa, you have to get those 2 guys going. It's kind of like, hey, getting further foul trouble, so be it.
Oh, yeah, you're in this big of a hole. You got to get out of the hole before you even think about saving foul trouble or anything like that.
Ian Martinez. Martinez up top, hits the 3. It's the second of the game for Utah State. He's got 10.
That's got to be just about the first true, wide open, clean look Utah State's gotten an entire half. Great screen set, and Martinez, one of the best shooters in the Mountain West, drills it.
So with 10 points now in the first half for Ian Martinez, that's 33 straight games in double figures for him.
That's incredible.
3rd longest such streak in the country.
Man.
But there to respond, Bowen Bourne.
What a first half from Bowen Bourne. And again, Colorado State's needed it. Kyan Evans picked up 2 personal fouls. They've needed Bourne to provide a lift, and he certainly has.
Bourne was just 1 of 5 from 3 against Utah State in the first matchup. He's 3 of 3 in this game and is leading this Colorado State team just to total domination.
He made 54 threes a year ago. Again, over 1,000 points in his career at Northern Iowa. He knows how to score, but he's just in a different role here in Fort Collins, and he's settling in. Just his confidence today has been really high. I do think it's all started on the defensive end. He's had a swagger about him and an energy about him on defense that I think has spilled over onto this end of the floor.
Those 3 threes for Bourne match a season high for him. Thought about that one from 30 feet. 2 minutes to go here in this opening half. 44-20, Colorado State. Good look underneath. Okay, why not? Jalen Parker-Johnson, 15 points now, doing everything. It's everybody for Colorado State.
Just the quality of shot Colorado State's getting compared to Utah State is dramatically different.
Rattles out on the other side, and a rebound picked up by Lake. Going back to Bowen Bourne for just a moment. 3 of 3 in this game. He's now 7 for his last 13 from 3 after that 1 of 5 that he had against Utah State. So that confidence clearly has been building for a couple of games now. He's going to launch here. Heat check miss. I think when you start 3 of 3, you get a green light.
I totally agree.
Situation like that.
I wanted him to shoot the 30-footer.
An answer on the other side. Drake Allen gets the drop. Time on the floor called by Colorado State. It's more than doubled up the Aggies to this point, and the ball movement, sharing the basketball, team basketball on display so far for Colorado State.
Well, then conversely, sharing the ball and the assists have been the strength of Utah State throughout the season. You just look at the numbers nationally, and then today, 0 assists. Colorado State just locking up the Aggies right now.
As a result, 7 of 25 shooting is Utah State. The defense of Colorado State, you're going to look at the score right now, 46-22. You're going to look at that and say, wow, Colorado State must be lighting it up. And they are. They've made 2/3 of their shots. They've made 8 threes in the first half. They're 8 of 10. I get all that. Nick, to me, it feels like the defense is the driver of that even more so than the offense.
Absolutely. I am equally impressed with the offensive defense, but I am blown away at the defensive effort. Because again, Utah State, one of the better offenses in the country, 15th nationally in Ken Palm's offensive efficiency. And defense has been, to me, the story.
This is as close to a perfect half as Colorado State can play, or as really any team can play. They've turned it over twice, made 8 of 10 from behind the arc, 2/3 of their shots. Clifford can't get it off the window. Utah State just trying to do their best to somehow chip away at a massive deficit. This up top, and the rebound comes out to, you guessed it, the Rams.
Well, to me, this has been the most impressive 20 minutes of basketball all season for Colorado State. See if they can cap it off on this last possession.
And when they have been up at halftime, pretty darn good. They've won 17 of 18 times this year. Led by this man, Meek Clifford, Euro step towards the bucket. Gets it off the window for 2. 48-22, the halftime score, as Colorado State held Utah State to the fewest points the Aggies have scored in any half this season. All right, coming up after the break, we're going to get to our FS1 studios for first half stats and highlights with Mike Hill and Casey Jacobson. You're watching Mountain West Basketball on FS1. Colorado State up by 26 here at halftime, their biggest halftime lead of the season. And they're doing so, holding the best offensive team in the Mountain West to just 22 first half points. I'm Trent Rush with Nick Baugh. That was unbelievable what we saw from the Rams in the first 20 minutes.
No doubt about it. Certainly 8 for 10 from 3. Will catch your eye for Colorado State, but keep in mind, Utah State, 5th nationally in field goal percentage, just 27% in the first half. Look at the 0 assist number for Utah State. They're 6th nationally in assists per game at 18 assists per game. So just really a clean sweep of checking every box that you want to defensively for Colorado State. Now, one of the hardest things in basketball is to recreate that level of energy and fight and competitiveness when you know you've built such a big lead. I'll be curious to see if Colorado State can reassert themselves defensively, because I'd imagine Jared Calhoun had a very spirited conversation with the Aggies at halftime, so I expect a pretty good effort from Utah State.
Well, the energy level was just dramatic in the first 20 minutes from where Colorado State was right away to where Utah State played. And, well, Colorado State, all business, and they enjoy a 26-point lead right now because of it, and flying coming out of the break, going coast to coast. A fast break bucket, 2 for Albury.
Finally got a stop, got out and ran in transition, got Albury flying to the rim.
And then another takeaway, this one from Martinez. Now it's a 3-on-1. Martinez to the bucket, he gets it. And, you know, Nick, you and I were talking off air during halftime about Colorado State trying to maintain their energy level that we saw in the first half. Again, it's a huge mountain for Utah State to climb, but Colorado State's got to be careful with that.
Yes, absolutely. And again, it's, well, you always talk about playing to the standard and not the score. But sometimes as a player, subconsciously you know the score. And it's just hard to play with that level of energy and desperation that you saw in that first half. And already just a little bit of some mental errors from the Rams. But again, this is Utah State's 24-5 for a reason. They're going to fight here in this second 20 minutes. I guarantee that's what Niko Medved told his group. Said this group's not going to just lay down.
Martinez gets both free throws. So for Colorado State, who turned it over just twice in the first half, 30 seconds into the second half, they turn it over after missing a shot, and 4 points for Utah State coming out of the break. And so far it's been the Aggies the aggressors, but again, still a long way to go for Utah State. Kyan Evans was limited in the first half due to some foul trouble, only played 3 minutes.
3 on Mason Falslev. Obviously you're going to leave him in, but you want the Mountain West steals leader to feel like he can really be aggressive to get steals, and sometimes when you're in foul trouble, it's hard to just let it rip and go for steals.
Yeah, when that's his game, averaging close to 2.5 a night, and really tough to kind of play that way when you're just handcuffed. Yep. It's a miss underneath by Mbemba.
Again, I felt like Utah State needed to play a little faster, but you got to get stops to play fast.
Transition 3, Albury. Coming out of the second half gate, firing.
If I'm Niko Medved, if this next minute doesn't go well, I'd call a timeout. Just to, you don't want to give Utah State any reason to feel like they got some hope.
Yeah, Colorado State, had they started this second half better, they could have ended this game before it really even got going in this second half. And Utah State maybe playing like they got some life back. Evans for 3, taking that away.
He has been a second half machine the last 2 games. Shooting 66% from the floor in the second half and averaging 16 points per half in that second half.
Albury getting downhill, gets hit on his trip. It's going to go against Evans, and that's now 3 on Kyan Evans. So real foul trouble in the first half, picks up an early third foul here in the second half, a little over 2 minutes in. Trying to get to Martinez.
They wanted to get Bowen Bourne in the game, but he was down at the end of the bench and couldn't get to the scores table.
Missed underneath by Gatorenzi, and that's going to lead to a transition try coming up for Colorado State. Nick Clifford. Colorado State, no problem slowing things down, setting up their half-court offense. A lot of space for Evans, over the top, rattles in another.
Trent, it's hard when you've been in foul trouble the whole game. How many times do we see players get in foul trouble and then they're out of rhythm for the whole game? Well, how about Kyan Evans? No problem with that, knocking down 2 threes early.
He's 3 of 3 in 6 minutes of court time. Kyan Evans is. And you just talked about the 2 in the second half. Rams are rolling on their home floor in Fort Collins this afternoon, and Evans, the heat check 3. And a foul on the loose ball try, trying to get that rebound. It's going to go against Jalen Crocker-Johnson. But Kyan Evans got it going.
He's really played well. The last half of the season, the last 2 games in particular, in the second half, he's been a machine. And just foul trouble in the first half, wasn't able to get on the floor. Now he'll have to sit with that 3rd foul, but man, that guy is drenched in confidence right now.
And that was the biggest thing. We talked with Niko Medved about that. And He says the confidence just keeps getting higher and higher every game, and as the season has progressed. I mean, this Colorado State team started the year in the first net. They were 207. They're up to 61 now. I think you'll be hard-pressed to find another team in the country that's made that kind of growth in the metrics this year. And it started with their defense. Foul here goes against Utah State. Allen is in the neighborhood. He'll be hit with the personal. His second.
Now, to go back to the improvement, I mean, Colorado State's really, they're relying on a lot of young players, a lot of newcomers after a very senior-laden group departed from a year ago, and it's going to take some time, but this group is much better today than they were 2 months ago.
Oh, my goodness, Bowen Bourne. Not just a three-point shooter, and then a rejection. Clifford went way up to take that away. Showing that NBA athleticism. Pull-up jumper on the other side. No, Mbemba kept it alive for Clifford. Now a baseline two. Money.
Do it all, Nick Clifford. What an amazing block on the defensive end from Clifford. But that's who he is, a well-rounded player. He does everything well.
9 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists today. And we may be looking at Mountain West Player of the Year. Bowen takes it away. Bowen able to get it over to Clifford. Clifford to the bucket, hit on his trip, goes down hard. But it's the Rams storming at home against Utah State.
Bowen Bourne tying a season high of 13 points. And then Nick Clifford with the rejection at the rim. And a little step back, big time, Nick Clifford.
The fastest racing on earth is coming to Fox. The 2025 IndyCar season gets underway in St. Petersburg. The first stop on the road to the Indy 500 tomorrow at noon Eastern, live on Fox. So before the last time out, hard foul by Albury hitting Nick Clifford here. They called it a flagrant one on the floor. Officials went to the monitor, they reviewed it. Call stands, flagrant one.
It looked like Albury kind of hacked down and pulled down on that.
Yeah, it was Albury who got hit with it. Again, a hard foul on Clifford, the star for Colorado State, going to the bucket. Contact around the head.
And Kelly Pfeiffer elaborated, it was the pull down. It's the pull down motion of Albury on Clifford that makes it a flagrant foul. Really appreciate the officiating crew. I think they've been outstanding in communicating with us so we can communicate with you.
Kelly Pfeiffer, Scott Brown, Alfred Smith, all have been really good about that this afternoon in Fort Collins, where we have seen this Colorado State team down to their final few games this year. A lot of work to do while so many teams in this conference at the top are in the at-large conversation. As an AQ, Colorado State really hasn't been. But trying to fight for their AQ lives here as Nico Medved has seen his team improve dramatically. And the three-point shooting has been unreal for Colorado State. They've made 10 threes in this game, but the defense every bit as good. They have held Utah State, the 5th best shooting team in the country, to 10 made field goals, 10 for 32. Inbound, going up and scoring with ease. Keyshawn Williams, athlete.
Utah State just getting overextended on that throw over to Williams and an easy path for the layup. So how about a 4-point possession for the Rams? Whatever run Utah State had out of the timeout has officially, I think, been negated, and now another turnover.
Rams have the Aggies doubled up right now. They're on a 14-2 run. An 8-0 run part of that. Rams have been able to score in bunches. They're not missing. I mean, they're shooting 56% from the floor right now, and they've made 10 of 13 threes. You're not going to lose. You make 10 of 13 threes, you're almost never going to lose.
You're in pretty good shape.
Clifford across midcourt. Dangerous pass, gets intercepted. False left. The steals leader in the Mountain West, and that's going to be a foul on Morton, who kicked the leg out. And that's where we'll get hit with the personal.
Boy, Morton, what he does best is be steady and smart, and he's just made a couple of mental mistakes. He left his feet without a plan, turned it over, and then compounded things with a foul.
Nick, you were just talking about this a moment ago. For this Utah State team that started the second half on a 7-0 run as a three gets made from the left side. Another one for Jordy Barnes, 5 all year, or 6 now, and 2 of them have been in this game. They started that 7-0 run. You felt like, okay, could Utah State get back in it? And then all of a sudden, the game changed in a flash thanks to Evans.
Yeah, Evans' 2 threes, I think, kind of loom large right now. I know it doesn't feel like that with the score, but I felt like Utah State had a little bit of mojo for a second.
Yeah, they needed everything to go right.
Yes.
But there was still that glimmer of hope, and that got taken away rather quickly. Also, this man, Bowen Bourne, alive tonight.
Think about the fact that he has been in double figures only 1 time this season. And he was in double figures in the first half, and he's picked up where he's left off. Now up to 15 points, so it's a season high for Bourne. Again, Kyle Evans been in foul trouble. You needed him to come in and play well, and he's played his best game of the season.
It's been so balanced for Colorado State. Bourne's 15, Crocker Johnson's got 15 as well. Clifford's in double figures with 11. I mean, keep going down the line. Evans made 3 threes. He's got 9 points. Lake has added 7. I mean, that's a lot of scores that are giving you significant production this afternoon. Jordy Barnes to Albury, poked away by Bourne. And Bourne is continuing that defensive intensity. False left. Trying to get around everybody, a lot of contact, a man down. That's Kyle Jorgensen, who might have gotten hit in the face there. I don't know if he got poked in the eye, but he went down hard.
I don't know if Falslev got him clearing off with that left arm as he was going up for that layup, but Jorgensen went down quickly.
Yeah, Falslev, that elbow to the chin.
Yeah. And cleared out with that left elbow.
And he is in some pain. The freshman from Minneapolis. Made 4 starts earlier in the year. Had a 10-point game against Fresno State. It's really the only freshman that's in this Colorado State rotation, a very veteran team.
Yeah. Nico Medved called him an under-the-radar find, recruiting-wise. Now the blood's starting to roll.
And get that cleaned up. So the referees are going to take a look at this. When Falslev went up, and it looked like that right or left elbow. They got him right in the face.
Right on the.
Ouch.
Right on the button. This will probably get upgraded as well.
Yeah, use that arm to clear out, and then where the contact was, and anything around the head or neck.
I think it's for sure a flagrant 1. I'm now curious if this is going to be a flagrant 2.
And that's what the officials will try to decide here in a game that has been dominated by Colorado State. And you can imagine, I mean, not to say that, you know, Falslev is intentionally like trying to throw an elbow there, but I mean, you can understand the frustration. He's had no space, no room all day, trying to get to the basket, uses that off arm to clear, and then he ended up getting Jorgensen pretty hard.
Yeah, I wish we could take intent into consideration when we're officiating these moments, but it's very subjective, and I don't think there was malicious intent from Falslev. But there's contact above the head and neck. Question is, was it a basketball play? He's clearing out with that arm pretty good. If it were me, it would just be, I guess if you want to call it a flagrant 1, play on. Be interested to see if this gets upgraded to a flagrant 2. I think for anything to warrant an ejection needs to be egregious, because there isn't anything more punitive than an ejection.
So they're going to end up calling this a flagrant one.
Yeah.
With the elbow in the face. That seems like the right way to handle it.
I agree. I'm glad that that's not getting upgraded to a flagrant 2.
Now it's also the 4th foul against Valslev, which again down by 31 points, but still 13:40 to go in this game. We'll see what choice Calhoun has. He can just let him ride, and I think he's going to have to with this much room to go. But yeah, that's one. Obviously hard contact. It's now 2 flagrants in the second half that have gone against Utah State. And again, we were just talking about the intent. I'm not sure that there was intent there. I don't think that Dayton Albury had intent either when he drugged Clifford down a little bit earlier. But I think you can sense maybe some mounting frustration from Utah State just on a day where nothing has gone right.
No, and coming off a game on the road at Boise State where they got popped pretty good. And this is a group, you see their record 24-5. They're not used to losing, and I was curious how Utah State would react. It feels like, although it might not result in the end result too much, but it's an important final 13.5 minutes here just for your pride and for your competitiveness moving forward if you're Utah State, because obviously they got a lot of important basketball ahead of them here.
I was saying 2 flagrant fouls in the second half. There have been 2 flagrant fouls in the last minute and 50 seconds that have gone against Utah State. So Colorado State trying to continue to make this statement here on the first Saturday in March. It's an unreal day of college basketball. Neat Clifford, big-time NBA prospect. Step back, Trey, got it.
That certainly looks like NBA level, doesn't it?
14 now for Clifford. He's going with 7 assists. He's got his 3 rebounds, filling up the box score. Albury up top, answers with a 3 of his own. Stops the 8-0 run.
He's not really a three-point shooter, although he shoots a good percentage, doesn't take a lot of them. Just his 11th made 3 of the season.
Underneath, Ethan Morton, the Purdue transfer. And you think about the kind of role he could have. I mean, if Colorado State were to get into the tournament, Morton's been in a national championship game before.
Yeah.
Martinez comes back for 3.
I think that was part of the allure of landing a guy like Morton. I mean, he's been through it all. He was part of a team that went to the national championship game, part of a team that won 2 Big Ten titles, also part of a team that was a 1 seed that lost to a 16. So he knows everything that March can throw at you.
Morton made the extra pass, but that ends up getting turned over. Transition bucket and a lay-in for Dayton Albury. It's up to 10 points. 72-41 for Colorado State, a team that's been to 2 of the last 3 NCAA tournaments. They have a lot of work to do to get back to the big dance. But if they play like this, all of a sudden, they're going to draw a whole lot of attention. Tough look on the turnaround follow on the baseline. Williams can't get it to drop.
Really hard shot.
There haven't been very many of those. As we just saw Albury find another gear going coast to coast.
Well, Neat Clifford, and a lot of NBA chatter around him. Just watch this play and you'll see why. Big time.
Hey America, have you met Bowen Bourne? Well, you have now. 18 points, a career night for the grad transfer.
Northern Iowa transfer, over 1,400 points scored there, and hasn't had a great scoring season, but you see that he can really fill it up. And again, Kyan Evans, 2 personal fouls early, so you needed to have some extended minutes for Bowen Bourne, and he has delivered for his team. He has been awesome.
Bourne has been tremendous today for this Colorado State team that's gotten so many big performances. The stars have showed out, but getting those same kind of production off the bench as well. We'll take another timeout. 72-43, all Rams in Fort Collins when we come back on FS1. 29-point lead for Colorado State, who's also taken a part of something pretty cool here with the Colorado State community teaming up with UC Health to fight like a Ram. The program honors and celebrates local cancer warriors in a variety of different ways, connecting with athletes, joining team events, standing center stage today. And you see the cancer warriors hanging out at halftime on the baseline, celebrating their fight, and the connection with the community is such a neat thing that Colorado State does. And we've seen on the back of the jerseys for the Rams players, they have the names of these cancer warriors. Different names again on the back. Being honored, it's Neat Clifford, Andrea Chavez Alvarez.
If that won't inspire you to play hard, I don't know what will. Just a really, really cool event.
And this is 6 years in a row they've done this, and it's become a community staple and a neat thing. And you know, the team really gets behind it. The coaches wearing the Fight Like a Ram shirts, and some of the guys rocking the purple shoes. Jalen Crocker Johnson notably. And the Rams have played like warriors.
Yeah, that'd be inspiring for the cancer warriors here, watching how these Colorado State Rams have performed here.
Yeah, that was pretty clear right away in this game. One team really came to play, and the other just did not have the same energy.
And that's can happen. Not to make excuses, but for whatever reason, there are times in about once or twice a year you can't even recognize the team on the floor, and that's got to be how Jared Calhoun feels. And then for whatever reason, there are a couple times a year you just put your best stuff all together, and that's got to be how Nico Medved feels. I mean, this has been by far the best 30 minutes of basketball going on, trying to get to 40 minutes Colorado State's played all year.
Martinez all the way to the block off the glass for two. And you think about this for Utah State. It just happened, sure, but they're coming off a game at Boise State where they got beat 82-65, their worst loss in conference. And, you know, they're in trouble big time in this game midway through the second half, down 72-45. That was coming on the heels of a victory against San Diego State as a corner three gets made by Jalen Crocker Johnson. So he's got 18 points now, but Utah State was playing so well, and now it's all about how you're trending, and now coming into March, not the way you want to be playing right now.
No, and that's the thing. You just want to be playing your best basketball when that calendar turns to March. And Utah State's going to be fine. It just has been a tough two-game road trip. But at the same time, take any team in the country and have them go play at Boise State and at Colorado State and see how well it probably goes for them. So this conference is for real, and winning on the road is really, really hard.
Some of these road environments in the Mountain West, I mean, you could put them up with just about anybody, yeah, for sure. And Colorado State, I mean, Moby Arena, it can get rocking. We've seen it at times here in Fort Collins. But, of course, you know, Viejas at San Diego State, the Pit in New Mexico gets all kinds of love. Alley-oop try, but a miss, and it's been that kind of day for Gatoretzi and company as the Aggies miss a bunny. Obviously in Logan, the Spectrum, one of the toughest places to play in the whole country.
I got to experience the Spectrum for the first time a couple of weeks ago. It was every bit as good as advertised.
It's a neat league, and it's high-quality basketball, and it's a league that got 6 teams into the NCAA tournament a year ago. Right now, Mike DeCourcy forecasting 3, maybe a 4th team for the Mountain West could sneak in there. Whether it be Boise State or Colorado State can make some magic in the conference tournament.
I still think, though the score is what it looks like, but this is a Utah State team, a short prep NCAA tournament. You haven't seen a zone quite like the one that Utah State runs, with how well they can shoot the ball, share the ball, run offense. This is a very dangerous team in March. I know it didn't go well here this afternoon, but that doesn't change my mind on them at all.
Well, and they have a lot of depth as Barnes gets the layup. I mean, Utah State, they're the reigning Mountain West regular season champions. First time they've done that in 11 years outright. Picked to finish 6th in the preseason poll. And all they have done is dominate. They got a new coach, they have a new star.
New roster, pretty much.
Right, they lost Grant Alsamore and Danny Sprinkle, their head coach. They went to Washington, and Calhoun has come in, brand new staff. They kept a few guys. Martinez is back, Falslev is back. But it's the depth of the roster for Utah State that I agree with you, Nick, that could be real problematic for an opposing team come tournament time.
Yeah, and Jared Calhoun basically said, we have 7 or 8 starters. Some guys actually get started, some come off the bench, but 28 points per game from the bench. That's 31st nationally. That's one of the few times, sure what the bench points look like today. Colorado State's outscored Utah State's bench. A lot of that's Bowen Bourne, but 23 of the 29 games, Utah State's bench has outscored its opponent.
And also in a game like this, you leave your starters out there as long as you can, trying to get something right. Good take and a whistle. It's a foul. Anderson will shoot 2 free throws. Called that one on Mbemba. His first. We haven't even really talked about it much today, Nick, but the point guard situation at Utah State is kind of interesting with Albury, being that more downhill point guard. You can bring in Drake Allen, space it out a little bit. It's interesting to see how Calhoun uses those 2 guys.
Yeah, and you can even throw in Jordy Barnes as well as that 3rd point guard, where he talked about how he likes to have his point guards all do different things, and depending on who's in the game, they'll operate offensively a little bit different.
Calhoun was real good for a long time at Youngstown State. Every year it feels like Utah State has kind of the hot coach on the market come in, and they don't stay long. And all they do is keep getting to the NCAA tournament. Off the glass, Evans missed. Calhoun's going to be the 3rd coach in 3 years at Utah State to take this team to the dance, assuming Utah State ends up getting in. The only other team to do that ever was at Southern Illinois when Bruce Weber, Matt Banner, and Chris Lowry in consecutive years took that team to the tournament.
And the decision making in terms of hiring head coaches at Utah State, off the charts good.
Step back 3, Nick Clifford now with 19 points. And that stroke is foul.
Yeah, that's his 2nd step back 3 of the half. If he's hitting that shot, forget about it.
A lot of talk about Magoon Guath at San Diego State as a pro prospect, and he's a very good one. He's hurt right now. I know that Miles Bird has been in the conversation, but Nick Clifford about as special as it gets. A game high 19 points on 7 of 11 shooting, including this step back here. Absolutely silky. How about this game we got coming up tonight on Fox Primetime Hoops? It doesn't get much better than this as Juju Watkins leads 4th-ranked USC in a fight for the Big Ten crown against crosstown rival Lauren Benson, number 2 UCLA. Tonight, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox. Game of the year in women's college basketball tonight?
Looking like it.
I think that could be the case.
I agree.
They're enjoying the afternoon here in Fort Collins.
Beautiful afternoon here in Fort Collins, and it has been just beautiful basketball from Colorado State.
The 3-point shooting is just off the charts.
Yeah, 13 of 16 is what Colorado State is shooting from the 3-point line. 13 of 16.
And it's not like it's just one guy. As Martinez gets the free throw, he's really been the only offense for Utah State. 17. Albury's added a dozen. Clifford's made 3. Evans has made 3. Bourne has made 3. Crocker Johnson's 3 of 3.
Crazy.
As complete of a performance as a team can have is what Colorado State's doing right now. But, well, Clifford couldn't quite tiptoe on the baseline. He's going to give it back to the Aggies.
How about Clifford with 8 assists? He has really done a good job making shots, making decisions.
Yeah, Clifford has 8 assists. Utah State as a team has 4.
Yeah.
Barnes going to launch up top.
Man, I'm telling you, Trent, this is a guy that has been reluctant to shoot throughout the year. Came in only at made 4 threes all season, but that stroke looks pretty good. He's now 3 of 4 from 3 in this game.
Nick, I think it's personal. You said earlier he's not really a three-point shooter, and all Jordy Barnes has done is knock down 1 3 after another.
Shutting me up. I like it. I like it.
In response, Bourne sees it slip right off the iron. Kid ended up staying with Colorado State. It looked like Anderson last to touch it as it went out of play. Clifford, the inbounder. See where Clifford goes with it. On the wheel up top, Evans been limited in foul trouble really much of this game. And how good has today been? Well, Evans might be their hottest scorer, but he hasn't had to do hardly anything tonight. Everybody else has been cooking.
Yeah. He has really been playing well. And again, he was only 1 point per game last year because he was playing behind Isaiah Stevens. And I'd imagine he was just a sponge all of last year and soaking up everything he can from what is arguably the greatest Colorado State player of all time in Isaiah Stevens.
And what better guy to learn from? And Stevens is going to get his crack at the NBA as well. On a 2-way contract with Miami, he had a pretty good preseason. He's someone that can get an opportunity. Both free throws were good. On top of the three-point shooting, Colorado State's also been excellent at the stripe. 15 of 16 from the line in this game.
How about Colorado State on a little stretch here of putting guys in the NBA? David Roddy, Isaiah Stevens, probably going to get Nick Clifford in the league as well. That helps in recruiting when you can play that card.
Falslev second chance, trying to get the lob off balance. Acrobatic play by Davis down low.
Well, he's a top 150 recruit. He's originally committed to BYU, but flipped to Utah State once Mark Pope went to Kentucky. Looked like a pretty athletic catch and finish.
First points in 3 games, and boy, that was pretty cool. Shot was missed by Evans. Comes out to Falslev. You almost get the sense Colorado State's kind of this sleeper. I mean, they're sending guys to the NBA. They've been in 2 of the last 3 tournaments, trying to make it 3 of 4 this season. They don't get talked about as much as, you know, a New Mexico or a San Diego State. They can play.
Because they got a coach. Nico Medved really is a big-time coach.
Falslev missed. Another rebound for Nick Clifford. His 6th of this game with his 19 points, 8 assists. He's been a catalyst for all things Ram this afternoon. Bourne weaving his way through the defense. Sticking with it, Evans makes the extra pass back into the game, and missing the 3 was Jorgensen. Second chance coming. Clifford gets hit going up, makes the pass to Evans. 9 assists now for Clifford. And now Colorado State with 86 points, the most points Utah State's allowed all season. And they'll get the basketball right back. Nico Medved, I mean, just a remarkable job he's done with this program.
Yes. Done an excellent job. 4 postseason appearances, a couple in the NCAA tournament. You see that, but only coach in Colorado State history with 4 20-plus win seasons. And they'll get their 20th win here today.
This is going to be 5 out of 6 years with 20 wins for Nico Medved.
So he's sustaining it, which is hard to do.
So much consistency as Clifford's back over 20 points. He's got 21 now. Medved, who was Skip Prosser Man of the Year last year in college basketball, so very well respected among the industry. And I think we're getting to a point where fans are going to have to start taking notice of the kind of basketball they're playing in Fort Collins. Corner 3, good in response. Tucker Anderson got it. And you better believe there's going to be some folks that are going to see this game, this score on the ticker,
yes,
online, on social media, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, that's got to be some kind of mistake.
No.
Very impressive showcase. Oh, speaking of impressive, Nick Clifford, good night. What a statement slam on a statement Saturday. Nick Clifford, rise up, young man. Nick Clifford may end up being Player of the Year in the Mountain West Conference. He plays like this. You can understand why. 23 points and doing it on both sides.
He's just a great athlete. Lets the game come to him. He's efficient. And as he's hitting shots like this, he is borderline unguardable. A couple of step-back threes. He's playing with athleticism on display right here, going baseline and throwing it down. There's a reason he is on multiple NBA radars. Somewhere in that 20 to 40 pick range. That's what pros look like right there.
Clifford also 9 assists today, which is a career high. As far as the Player of the Year conversation in the Mountain West, it does feel like it's Donovan Dent's to lose. If New Mexico wins the Mountain West, you have to think Donovan Dent is the favorite, but boy, Clifford's special.
I agree. I think Donovan Dent is your odds-on favorite at the moment, and I am one of those guys that it doesn't always have to be the best player on the team that wins it, but you win the league, that has to matter on some level.
And he's leading the conference in points and assists on the best team.
You don't got to sell me on Donovan Dent. I am a huge Donovan Dent fan. Just a whale of a player. But so is Nick Clifford. A lock to be a first-teamer, obviously.
New Mexico did win today over Air Force. So Colorado State, with their victory, they'll stay 1 game back of the Lobos. Pretty crazy the way this season started for Colorado State. That here we are on March 1st. They're going to be 1 game out of first place in the Mountain West standings.
The way they've continued to improve, I think the role players have settled in for what is needed from them and their confidence.
Clifford just piling on. 26 for Clifford.
And that's kind of the big, what you're seeing right there is the big question for him at the next level. It's just a consistent 3-point jump shot. Looked pretty good here this afternoon.
Barnes looking at fire and response, wide left.
That'll do it for Nick Clifford. Get a big roar from the crowd.
Standing ovation for Clifford as he comes off. Colorado State will play 1 more home game. But for Clifford, as much as he has meant to this Fort Collins community, what a performance today when Colorado State needed him most. Taking on a really tough team in Utah State, and it has just been team basketball, but that all starts with Nick Clifford. Trying to get a little high-low action, but it gets taken away. Inside of 2 minutes to go, 93-61. That's correct, folks.
Yeah.
You might not believe it, but it's true. Missed by Jackson Smith.
Lake Murphy with a rebound. Always tough to sit for 38 minutes and come in and handle the ball against his own, get a rebound, see if he can get a shot here.
Ten to shoot. It's Kyan Evans. Getting the extra pass through.
Oh.
Luke Murphy. That might have been a shot from Kansas.
Wow.
Long 3 was missed. Murphy, the freshman from Oregon. Bucket on the other side. Isaac Johnson with the layup. Got to go back a long time against a real good team. The last time Utah State got beat like this in the tournament by Purdue. But a 30-point showcase. Colorado State all over the Aggies. A miss there. And for the first time since 1998, Colorado State is going to defeat Utah State at home in consecutive seasons. Up by 30, 93-63, a little over 30 seconds to go. Towards the baseline. And a foul. Going to send Tucker Anderson to the line. And well, Nick, Colorado State,
yeah,
what they've done tonight if you're the committee, you got to be thinking, okay, maybe they're at least in that bubble conversation.
They're going to have opportunities here with the Mountain West Conference tournament looming and getting some more cracks at potentially Utah State or New Mexico or San Diego State. So the beauty of March and the beauty of college basketball, you know what they can go do is they can go win the Mountain West Conference tournament as well and just not leave it up to chance. Certainly Colorado State has the capabilities, but what a performance from the Rams here this afternoon.
93 points. Colorado State's hands Utah State a lopsided game. The Rams score their most points in a regular season conference game since 2020, and they do so in a 27-point win over Utah State. And just like that, it's the Rams right there trailing only New Mexico in the Mountain West standings. You get to March, anything can happen, Nick.
Anything can happen, baby, especially in the Mountain West.
For Nick Ball, my name is Trent Rush. Thanks for being with us in Fort Collins, Colorado. We wish you a good afternoon. You can catch more Mountain West hoops coming up this Friday when Colorado State travels to Boise for their conference finale. Thanks for watching Mountain West basketball on FS1. Good night, everybody.